information from that point of view, and one of the things that recently came out in one of the sessions was that Earth right now has a diversity of levels of development that it's never had before, and that you can have literally as neighbor somebody who is, on the scale of getting close to Buddhahood with somebody who is in the beginning of their like
Cycle.
spiritual development and still, yeah, absolutely. But they're still kind of waking up. So there's a very, very like not just from, even inside one neighborhood, you're gonna find really old souls, if that's, I don't know if that's the right term, but
I
you know
like
what I
it.
mean.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I agree with you. This is such an interesting level I'm about to explore, I think, and I'm walking my path because I'm going to this world of spirituality through mostly through my own path. I would say it's like more about science and like reflections and thoughts and developing intelligence, memory, and empathy and all those things, and in more of a rational way. But at the same time, I'm very curious about like previous lives, and I try so many different things just as
Yeah.
and also I would like to bring some more of a scientific methods to this, because
Mm,
many people are skeptical about spirituality because they think,
yeah.
oh, it's not real
Yeah.
stuff, it's just people thinking, making up things.
Yeah.
So I think I'm one of those people who
Yeah.
are going to kind of add to that gray area where you have like finally some data, right, about some stuff, and you
Mm,
can try to tell what's more reliable and what is like
mm,
charlatanism or some crazy stuff. So yeah, because there are a lot
yeah.
of people in esoterics, for example, who are healing, like energy healing, that are not very professional, and it's
Yeah.
difficult, like
Yeah.
not gifted,
Absolutely.
and they take advantage of people's trust and superstitions, and
Yeah.
I think that should
Yeah.
be eliminated by somehow like bringing more awareness and more rational and sensible approach to this. I love how in English
Mm,
language they have sense for both sensible and sensitive, like which in Russian is totally different, two different concepts, where sense is feeling and
yeah.
sense is making sense, right? Logic in the same word, which is
Yeah.
fun. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. And I come from a very scientific background because I'm a chemical engineer. So I studied for a long time all sciences. And then I was head of innovation in the lab and water purification.
Wow, cool.
So I have a very, very strong like scientific background. And I think that one of the limitations in this field is the money. Because like if I had the money right now, the money and the resources, I would start a huge scale like
Research.
research on the hypnosis and then how like the body can heal, because the body has a capability of healing that is unbelievable, and it's actually the only thing that can heal. Medicine doesn't heal you, and doctors, even a bone, if you break a bone, the best a guy can do is put it in line. It's the body that's going to heal it, and the same thing is, with everything else. So body is the healer, the body is the maker. The body is evolved for billions of years, and rationality is only evolved for a few hundred years or 1,000 years. So when you approach the body from a rational point of view, you're approaching something that's got 3 billion, 5 billion years of evolution with something that's got a few hundred or 1,000 years. So I think and these techniques that I work with are like you use just enough rationality and structure to access the innate capability of the body that knows what it's doing from the inside. But for me to be able to prove it, like to gather the data that you're talking about, and to, because the money comes from the pharmaceutical companies, patent things. I would also have patents, and so I know how that world works. And so there hasn't been huge scale investment in alternative forms of, not just healing, but let's take that in a bigger sense, because there's no
Funding, right?
billions to be returned. Yeah, there's no money back into it. Because if I teach you how to breathe well, if I teach you that your anger is the cause of your cancer, and you understand where that anger came from and the trauma, because right now, like, I don't know, if 1 million people get cancer, there isn't 1 million people that go in the subconscious of those people and find the connections. And if there's a connection between the mind, the way the mind is working, and the cancer is developing in the body, there isn't that research. But for somebody who's like a scientist like me and has worked in this field, I know it because every time I go in the subconscious of a person and I ask the body, why is it producing cancer? It tells me because there's anger that hasn't been. So I kind of have my data, but there's no way I can deliver it in a what is considered today to be scientific. I ain't got no graph.
I know,
So
but this is also, if you look at some research, they have like sample of 20 people, 50 people, which is really
yeah,
doable if you're just a practitioner. Just, yeah, it's
yeah,
not a
yeah.
reliable data, right? But it's something that could be used as
Yeah,
a template for the further research, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
making
yeah.
your research of your on your own is also interesting and curious. So as I said, this is a gray
Good. I'll
area.
take that point in. I'll take that point on.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
If
good.
because these
Very
things
good.
are really cool, and if you write down some like research, your own
Mm,
records, they could be used later for something more. For example, like
mm,
Scandinavian countries, they always had these recordings on everything, like when everybody's born, died, and like what were the crops and all that. For years, it was just the thing of their own, like for just having more organized stuff around their
mm.
lifestyle. But later on, scientists used all this data for their different research papers and all that. So eventually, maybe this gray area information will be useful for some like
Yeah,
other steps of the research. So yeah, that's what I think.
absolutely. Super. I think you think right.
Yeah, especially if you
Cool.
have such talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not have so.
Uh, um, yeah, I'm gonna go now, Ozzy. I've had
Yeah, it
a
was good
very
to see
long
you.
day,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, great to see you and great to speak to you. And we've got each other's email,
Yeah, exactly.
and so yeah, let me know as soon as you find your new home and what's going on. And
Sure, sure. How do I click the auras like yours? I think mine doesn't look like yours. You have like,
you've clicked it. I thought I didn't, but you have.
yeah. I'm trying to see it in my selfies, but anyway, yeah. Thanks for talking to me, and yeah.
You can come to the mirror. If
Mm-hmm.
you look
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
mirror
yeah.
here, you'll see.
I will. I will. I was just expecting to do that later. Yeah, it's just shining to me, like purple and yellow. Yours has patterns,
Yeah.
like I used to have at that point.
Oh, yeah, I
See?
see. Maybe
So
it's random.
maybe,
Maybe
who
if you
knows?
click on find an aura,
Yeah,
it might change it again.
just imagine my surprise when I saw this, huge difference between auras. The one that looked like mine,
Cool.
and
Okay, have a good
mhm.
evening.
Yeah, thanks. See you later. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Сейчас я запись тоже оставлю.